Hi, I'm Bev Staten. As a newly retired preschool teacher, I now realize you can take the teacher out of the classroom, but you cannot take the love for children out of the teacher. With that realization comes the understanding that I still have something to give, and the last few months of my final school year helped me recognize a new way to do this through some videos. To that end, I have made several read-alouds and mini lessons hoping to engage children and help out parents that were struggling with homeschooling. They're a way to connect with my students while hopefully promoting some learning and encouraging curiosity. With this new school year approaching, I wanted to share my latest video about imagination called When You're Stuck Inside. Einstein said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world." I feel deeply helping children develop and engage their imagination is important work. The following is a brief, but by no means all-encompassing, explanation about the positives of imagination building and some suggestions to initiate meaningful activities for young children and possibly the entire family. The benefits of cultivating an active imagination can include: it helps develop critical thinking skills by building synapses in the brain by making current connections from previous learned information. It helps with social and emotional development as well, providing a safe way to deal with problems and fears, both real and perceived. It also fosters verbal skills through vocabulary building. It reduces and eliminates the need for screen time and counteracts boredom from repeated activities. It builds confidence and, best of all, can be achieved in any climate and any environment. A few suggested activities are: first, make up a story instead of reading a book. This can be done by an adult for a child or with a child's help or the help of the entire family. Real family members can be characters or they can be entirely made up. But start short. Use words like beginning, middle, and end. Ask your child if they want a happy, sad, scary, or adventurous story, or any combination. Children love to hear made-up stories about themselves. This can also be a non-threatening way to resolve or understand a problem your child may not like to talk about otherwise. Maybe you or your child would want to make up a new ending to a story they already love. Another idea would be make a collaborative story with the family. One person starts, "Once I was walking through the woods," and the next person picks up, and so on. Another idea, provide prompts if your child has difficulty getting started. For example, what superpower do you wish you had? Or where would you go if you could go anywhere in the world? Or what if you lived on a mountain? Have your child use art as a starting point. Have them draw something and then dictate what it is. Write their words on the page and then ask, "Well, what happens next?" and so on. This could be done over several days, and when complete, you could staple the pages together and have your child give a name to their story. In my video, I used shapes because most preschoolers recognize them and they are not yet reading. Be sure to read their story back to them and then have them read it to you. If your child doesn't like to draw, have them make up a story using collage materials, blocks, Legos, natural materials, even blankets to make tents or castles. Any of these things can lead to imaginative story creation. Use photos to capture and caption a structure and encourage another for the next page. Compile 4 or 5 pictures of their structures that tell a story and then make a book. Here are a few tips. Be sure to begin slowly, especially for the younger learners. Parents may have to initiate to get the ball rolling. I remember telling my son stories after school while he would swing in the backyard. They would be short, usually about him, but I didn't use his name. And I would ask him what kind of story he would like: spooky, funny, happy, adventure. After several days of this, I began telling him it was his turn to tell me a story. It was a very special bonding time. If you're listening carefully, often your child will reveal a problem or fear they have. Another tip, write down or record stories you make up with your child. My husband's oldest son used to love to hear made-up stories. Once he asked me to repeat one and I couldn't remember how it went. That was embarrassing for me and frustrating for him. Another tip, let go of preconceived expectations and be open to learning something new about your child. Also, don't force. Pressure is not exactly compatible with imagination building. Another tip, any ideas are fair game. Reserve judgment about what your child may think is interesting, exciting, funny, etc. It's okay if they latch on to someone else's ideas at first. Stretching our imaginations takes some getting used to. It is way more fun if occasionally you can engage the entire family in an activity. Imagination building contributes many benefits to your child's developing brain, and the good news is it can be so much fun. Genuine enthusiasm and gentle urging can be the catalyst that opens up the door to creativity and independent thinking for your child.